the ovary, the uterus, and all of those structures that you're pretty much familiar with already. Fertilization typically takes place here. Once fertilization occurs, you have a zygote. You're looking at a diploid situation. Cell division here is referred to as cleavage. The zygote travels through the fallopian tube. At this point, it is referred to as a morula, a solid ball of cells. Here, cavity will open up. This cavity is the blastocele. The inner cell mass, the trophoblast. Down here, gastrulation has occurred. Here is the embryonic disc, blastocele, amniotic cavity, cytotrophoblast, syncytotrophoblast. Implantation here has occurred. You always have to implant in the same orientation or the pregnancy will terminate. Most pregnancies terminate either because of aneuploidy, which you learned about in 181, or because of incorrect implantation. The termination will occur before the mother even knows that she's pregnant in many cases.
So most times you don't get pregnant?
Oh, you do.
Well, you get pregnant, but you don't know, and it doesn't.
And it gets removed during your next period
Oh.
because it didn't implant correctly.
That's most of them?
About 80%.
So, really, all of us are like a big, fat, like, miracle almost, kind of, because most of the time it doesn't
Work. Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
Dang, that kind of makes you feel special.
Yeah. Okay. Here is your cycle of course ovulation. The oocyte with a surrounding layer of cells travels up through here, ovulation. Here's the oocyte, the zona pellucida, the corona radiata. So it is more or less swimming in beer from the time you're beginning. Yeah.
Usually the conception too. Usually you're drunk with it as well. No, you were a miracle.
Here.
Real early, guys.
Here, the sperm have to dissolve these layers to make it to the egg, to the oocyte. As I said before, during your average ejaculation, during intercourse, the average number of sperm that are released is about 300 million. The number that survive to make it here is about 300. You need pretty much all of them.
So is that they die on the way up,
Yeah.
or do they just?
They die.
Every time?
They die.
So is that why guys with really low sperm count can't really have kids at all?
Yes.
They die.
Yes. Or there aren't enough to get through this.
What's the purpose of that?
In terms of an evolutionary advantage or adaptation, I don't know of one. However, having said that, the idea of sperm selection or sperm competition has appeared every once in a while. I haven't read much literature about that.
So it's kind of just there to weasel out the weakest
I guess so.
of the strongest sperm.
I guess so. Once fertilization has occurred, the morula, a solid ball of cells. Here's your embryonic disc. Make this the yolk sac, and essentially a blastocele here. This, they're referring to it as a trophoblast, not a very convincing representation. Embryo, heart, umbilical cord, yolk sac, allantois, extraembryonic cavity, amniotic cavity, chorion, chorion frondosum. The placenta is a combination then of maternal and fetal tissues.
What do the ovaries do when you're pregnant? Like every month? Do they still go, or
No.
they don't go?
Yep.
So they just stay
Yep.
in?
Yep.
Oh.
Here, fertilization and cleavage. Here's the morula. Here, blastula, blastocele, cavity, inner cell mass. The blue is the trophoblast. Here, you've got some differentiation taking place. Here, gastrulation has occurred. So here's the blastocele, embryonic disc, this slit, the amniotic cavity, the cytotrophoblast, the syncytiotrophoblast. Here, embryonic disc, yolk sac, amniotic cavity, chorion, chorion frondosum. What's this? The endometrium. At this point, it's implanted. Embryonic disc, amniotic cavity, yolk sac, essentially a diverticulum here, the allantois. Chorion frondosum, chorion, the functional layer of the endometrium. Here's junior, yolk sac, junior, chorion frondosum, chorion. Essentially the placenta, gills, tail. Very much like a fish embryo.
Can I ask a question about the endometrium?
Yeah.
Is the endometrium the green because it hasn't docked, or I don't know?
It's implanted.
It is.
Oh yeah.
So is
This
the
is
endometrium
implanted.
in every single model that's got the green border?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. This will have implanted.
Okay.
This will have to implant. This is the wall of flowing uterus. Will have to implant like this. If it implants like this, or like this, or like this, the pregnancy will terminate.
Okay.
We were talking about this before, but some of your contraceptive devices function in preventing implantation. IUD, RU-486, and so on. We'll talk a little bit about contraception later on in the class. And here, of course, junior. Okay?
So the yolk sac is almost raw.
The yolk sac. In mammals, most mammals, the yolk sac doesn't amount to much.
So it's just there.
Well, it contributes some to the development of the circulatory system, blood vessels. It contributes, as you can see, to the development of the umbilical cord. But other than that, it doesn't do much.